So, generative AI, it's everywhere, right? And it is completely changing how we work. But if you're a manager, listen up, because this isn't just another new tool, it's a massive shift that's going to require a whole new way of thinking. Seriously. The question isn't if you should adapt anymore, it's how and how fast you can do it. So, let's get right into it.
And look, we all get that it's a big deal. The awareness is just staggering. A recent survey from Capgemini found that Gen AI is on the boardroom agenda in a whopping 95% of organizations. 95%! That's the fastest any new tech has ever grabbed this kind of top-level attention. You know the C-suite is talking about it, they're throwing money at it, and you better believe they're expecting results.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Here's the disconnect. While pretty much everyone is talking about it, how many are actually doing anything with it? Well, another survey found that only 15% of managers are using Gen AI every day. Just think about that for a second. 95% are aware, but only 15% are acting. That is a massive chasm. We call it the knowing-doing gap, and it's where careers are either made or broken right now. And let's be super clear here. Closing that gap isn't just a nice to have, it's an absolute must. If you're ignoring this, or maybe you're just waiting for someone else to figure it out for you, you're not just missing out on an opportunity. No, you are actively risking a major career misstep. The ground is literally shifting under our feet, and you just can't afford to be left behind on this one. So to really wrap our heads around what's happening, you've got to make a mental shift, a big one. You have to stop thinking of Gen AI as just another piece of software. It's not a better spell check. It's not a faster Google. We are moving into a completely new paradigm. I love how this breaks it down. Think about it. For decades, machines were just tools, right? Your PC, your email, powerful, sure, but they only did exactly what you told them. Click here, type that. Then we got assistants, Siri, Alexa. They could understand a simple command. Hey, Siri, what's the weather? But now we're in a whole new ballpark. We've arrived at machines as collaborators. For the first time ever, we can have these flowing, almost human-like conversations with tech, asking it to actually partner with us on really complex stuff. Okay, so how do we actually navigate this new world of collaboration? Well, here's the key. You have to understand that there are two totally distinct modes for working with Gen AI, and knowing which one to use and when, well, that's the secret to unlocking its real power. So, on the one hand, you've got what we call the co-pilot. This is all about execution, productivity, basically getting stuff done faster and better. Then, on the other hand, you've got the co-thinker. This mode is for the heavy lifting, strategic thinking, deep problem solving. It's about making you smarter. So you've got one for speed and one for depth. All right, let's talk about the co-pilot first. This is probably what you've seen or played with already. Think of it as the ultimate productivity machine. I mean, it can take a 30-page report and spit out the key points in seconds. It can draft that really tricky email you've been procrastinating on. It can even take a bunch of your messy notes and, boom, turn them into a polished slide deck. This is all about wiping the busy work off your plate so you can focus on what actually matters. And look, that's a fantastic start. Who doesn't want to save time? But saving time is only half the battle, isn't it? The real question, the one every manager should be asking, is this. How do you go beyond just being more productive? How do you use this technology to tackle the really complex strategic challenges that actually define your job? How do you use it to become a better leader? And that is where the co-thinker mode comes in. And what's so important to understand is that this isn't about just firing off a simple question. No, it's a real process. It's structured. You actually prepare for a dialogue. You start by giving the AI a specific role, tell it to be a devil's advocate or a seasoned business strategist. Then you define the setting, you outline how the conversation should go, and only then do you create the prompt. It's a much more deliberate, thoughtful engagement. And when you do this, the payoff is just huge. In co-thinker mode, Gen AI becomes your strategic sparring partner. Seriously, it can challenge those hidden assumptions you have before you make a big decision. It can help you weigh out complex trade-offs with a ton of different variables. You can throw your half-baked ideas at it and get real, structured feedback. Or you can use it to dig, and finally unearth the root cause of that one problem that just won't go away. See the difference? This is about making your thinking better, not just your output faster. So there you have it. These two incredibly powerful modes. Co-pilot for speed, co-thinker for depth. The big question now is, just how far can you take this? Where can you apply it? Well, the scope it's massive. It touches literally every single part of a manager's job. In fact, this whole guide maps these modes across 35 specific managerial tasks, all broken down into 4 key areas. First up, managing yourself, using AI to sharpen your own skills and, get your own house in order. Second, managing teams, everything from running better meetings to helping with tough conversations. Third, managing the business, think analyzing complex data or stress testing a new strategy. And finally, managing change, where AI becomes your partner in guiding your whole organization through a big shift. So this isn't just a few clever tricks. It's a full-blown toolkit for your entire job.
Okay, but of course, with all this incredible power comes great responsibility, right? To use these tools well and to use them safely, you need more than just the right prompts and techniques. You need the right mindset. And that means being really aware of the potential pitfalls and going in with your eyes wide open.
So let's talk about one of the biggest risks you've probably heard about, hallucinations. Here's what that means. It's when the AI gives you an answer that sounds super confident, totally plausible, but it's just plain wrong. It's completely made up. It might invent a source, make up a statistic. It's a critical thing to remember. These models are built to create convincing language, not to tell the absolute truth.
And that risk leads to a few common traps that you've really got to watch out for. There's the trust trap, where you just get too comfortable and start relying on it too much. The fabrication trap, that's when you accept what it says as fact without checking it yourself. There's also the conformity trap, where you let your own thinking get lazy and generic because the AI's answers are easy. And finally, the speed trap, where you just rush to get an answer without ever stopping to actually, think.
So here's the bottom line, the most crucial point of all. Your judgment, your experience, your critical thinking, that is completely irreplaceable. Gen AI is here to augment your intelligence, not to replace it. You have to be the human in the loop always. You are the one responsible for the final call.
Look, this is not a moment to be afraid of. It's an opportunity, a massive one, that's ready to be seized. If you lean in now, if you master these skills today, you get to be one of the pioneers. You can be the one who sets the pace for your whole team, for your whole organization, instead of being the one scrambling to play catch-up a year from now.
And that's really what this is all about. This isn't just a bunch of abstract theory. It's a hands-on, practical manual for navigating the Gen AI revolution. It's your guide to help you start experimenting, start innovating, and really to completely transform the way you work. So the final question isn't, what is Gen AI going to do? The real question is, what are you going to do with it?